Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ryan with RCB Films, and today I wanted to announce a really cool video that we're going to be doing. Me and Tyro Dslr are teaming up for another video. We are going to be comparing the Canon T5i and the Nikon D3100. Let's get into it. Alright guys, to start off, I wanted to look at the cameras themselves, and then we're going to look at the image quality in about a couple minutes. But I want to talk about the Canon T5i and the Nikon D3100. So both cameras are entry to medium level DSLR cameras that are capable of shooting HD video at 30 and 24 frames a second. Nikon D3100 shoots at 24, where the T5i shoots at 30. So that's something to note, and you'll get to see if that makes a difference in a minute. But it really doesn't, I'm going to be honest with you. So yeah, if you're watching this video, you're obviously looking at these entry-level cameras, and when you're looking at these cameras, you can't really go that wrong with any particular one. Each camera is actually quite good at what they do. The T5i has an 18 megapixel sensor, where the D3100 has a 14, and you'll see that in a minute with some image quality tests. And I honestly didn't see that much of a difference, if any, in some of the pictures. So that's something to note. Yeah, so let's get into the image testing. Alright guys, so we're going to look at this first clip, and both of these shots are actually shot in 720 between the Nikon and the Canon, and I want you to see if you can spot the difference. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but you're going to have to look and see for yourself. Alright, so what one do you think is the T5i or the D3100? It turns out the first clip was the T5i and the second clip was the D3100. Now, taking a close look at these videos, you can't tell that much of a difference. And to be honest, I think the only difference you can tell is because I'm using the T5i and my friend Tate's using the D3100, and I had to download the D3100 video over YouTube, and I think that's the only difference you're going to see between these videos. Alright, so let's take a look at the next clip. We'll roll the next clip right now, and these are both shot in 720 as well. It turns out that the Rebel T5i is the second video, and the D3100 is the first video. In this particular case, I actually like the D3100 video over the T5i, keeping in mind that the T5i is a little bit more expensive. The D3100 still produces great video that is able to hang with its competitor, and I think that was a really good clip, and I'd prefer that one. So we're going to take a look at a pan now, and this will really show and bring out the frames per second difference between the cameras in my opinion. So if you guessed the first one was the D3100, you were correct. I like the D3100's color in this one. It really pops. But if you look at the car closely, I'll put it on screen now. If you look at the car, it's a little bit jumpy. The frames can't really keep up. There's a little bit more stutter than the T5i. However, there is more movement than the T5i video. So each camera actually did quite good in this panning. And I'm very impressed that the D3100 actually was fairly smooth when looking at something coming towards the camera and panning across. So next up, we're going to take a look at another video, and I want you to ask yourself, what was this shot with? Alright, so those clips you just watched were actually shot with the Rebel T5i. And I like this clip because it shows the noise reduction that the T5i has built into the camera. Not necessarily noise reduction, but it is able to cancel out a lot of noise and make the video pretty crisp in low light conditions. So I was pretty happy with the result there. Alright, so next up, we're going to take a look at the slow-mo capabilities of both these cameras, both in 720p. So let's take a look. So the T5i was the first clip, if you hadn't already known, considering it's me in the video, and I had the T5i. But to be honest, I like the D3100 here, and I think it has a little edge over the T5i in the slow motion department. Even though the T5i is shooting at 30 frames a second faster, shooting in 60 frames a second, where the D3100 is only shooting in 30 frames a second, I really like the D3100 slow mo here. It could be just the videographer or the person filming has more experience and is a little bit better tracking and doing that slow motion. But yeah, I really like the D3100 clip here. Alright, so now let's take a look at some photos. Keep in mind that the Rebel has an 18 megapixel sensor, where the Nikon has a 14 megapixel sensor, and I want you to see if you can spot a difference between the two. Alright, so what you saw right there was the D3100, and actually those pictures are quite good. We have 100%, we have 200, and we have 400. And even at 400%, the camera is still quite detailed, and I would call that a pretty good image. Keep in mind this was downloaded off YouTube too, in 720p. So there's that, and I think that is a really respectable, good quality image. Alright, now we're going to take a look at a shot using the Canon Rebel T5i with the 18 megapixel sensor and see if you can spot a difference. So again, these shots were shot at 100, 200, and 400%. To be quite honest, I think these shots are a little bit crisper, and I think the T5i has a little bit of an edge with photos over the D3100 just because of the 18 megapixel sensor and the Digic 5 image processor that is inside the T5i. But we're going to take a look at some more photos here in a second. I'm actually very impressed by these photos with 100, 200, and 400%, because even though it only has a 14 megapixel sensor, that is extremely good detail. Keep in mind this was shot very close to the subject, but still, extremely good detail. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun making with Tyro DSLR. Keep subscribed to both channels. We're going to be doing some awesome collaborations in the future that I'm really excited for. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. See you guys later.